What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. We're jumping in with the reaction to the Marvel Future Fight live stream last night. So let's get right into this. So we know what we're getting. We're getting the Fantastic Four, basically 4 uniforms for each of the Fantastic Four that currently exist in the game. And then we're going to also receive the 2 children of the Fantastic Four, Valeria and Franklin Richards. Now, my hope is beyond the Fantastic Four in that we see an update here for Dr. Doom. I don't know why we haven't received an update for this dude in a while. Hopefully we get an update to get this guy on par with the current meta. You know, he deserves to be in there. This is one of everybody's favorites. So let's jump into the update. I want to specifically take a look at some of the things that was talked about last night and some of the concerns. Let's take a look overall. So we started out with the superheroes. Excuse me, let me turn this down. We started out with the view of Franklin Richards, and immediately the concern here with Franklin is how we go about acquiring him. So he's in a plus pack of Multiverse Saga Day of Doom. So this is going to cost us money to acquire this character, and it's going to cost you quite the bit of money. So I'm dying to see how that's going to happen, but let's take a look at his kit overall.
The eldest son of the Fantastic family, and he's got the powerful ability to create and project alternate realities. He is a universal type hero with powerful abilities like reality manipulation, telekinesis, and telepathy. You can obtain Franklin Richards in the hidden story of the new content, Multiverse Saga, Day of the Dooms, and of course we'll talk more about this later, but let's jump into it.
So essentially what they've done is they've gotten rid of heroic quests, and they've used that now as a essentially what you're looking at is heroic quests is being replaced with this Multiverse Saga and receiving some upgrades, updates to it, and looking like it's probably going to cost you a little bit more to get characters that are going to unlock these saga type stories.
Franklin Richards uses powerful attacks such as striking enemies with a giant telekinetic fist or creating a small universe that explodes.
Maybe he's a seamstress, dude. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Pocket uniform, bro.
Passive is called Omega Shield. This applies to self, super armor, and increase to basic defense, skill damage, and bonus damage, and a decrease in basic damage.
So let's take a look at his skills, because I really want to see the patch notes before, you know, we jump into looking at this. So
right in.
Dude, let's check out his speed, man.
He looks like, it's funny because he looks like Dash from The Incredibles to me for some reason. I don't know why.
Like, you know, maybe they all run the same speed just based on their size or how they look. Let us know in the chat.
No, they do not all move at the same speed.
I don't think it is, but it's still fun to do.
Dude, MFF racing game, I'm telling you,
little mini game.
Let's go, chat. Yeah.
All right,
let's see
jump right into it. Skill number 1 is called Omega Blast.
So now you can see that he's coming out as a Transcendence character, and that's literally $40 that you're paying for a Transcendent character. So you can't use him inside the T4 content, which is where you would want to see him be used.
Number 2 is called Invisible.
And you're not really trying to play any of the other world boss, really.
I feel like there's a little bit of both his, you know, family lineage there. He has some Invisible Woman, some Mr. Fantastic. This causes stun. Bam. All right. Skill number 3 is called Psionic Supernova. Psionic Supernova causes silence.
We've seen that skill before. That's a little bit of a copy paste. We've seen that one. I can't remember the character, but I know we've seen that skill. That
damage when attacking increases all basic
that animation has changed up a little bit.
Pure damage. All right, this snare, and it also looks great. As you all know, I'm a big space buff, and so, you know, and being a universal type, it makes sense. All right, moving on to skill
number 5. The universal type is crowded as hell.
Energy Rush.
He's gonna have to be ultra good to justify $39.99 costs.
This one causes incapacitation, paralyzes enemies, and to self grants invincible, increases basic damage for 1 attack, and recovers HP. And then lastly, we have his Awakened skill. We're going to be joined in here by Valeria real quick, and this one's called Telepathic Brother. Franklin hits with telekinetic powers in his fists, turns invisible with Valeria, and then the hologram clones appear to fire energy blasts.
Okay, that's not a bad transcendence fucking skill.
Stuns enemies and
let's see. A lot of is reality alter.
right. Next up, we have Valeria Richards.
So
Coming
Valeria
into the battle.
is going
She's
to be
inherited
free, and she's a
incredible
blast
intelligence from her
human
father,
female
Mr.
superhero. So
Fantastic.
she's acquired in the multiverse saga Day of the Dooms.
She is a blast type hero who uses various machines and has a genius, ignores dodge rate. And let's check out. All right, while everyone dies, burn, stun, and some energy damage. Skill number 2, which I think is my favorite of her skills outside of
I think Valeria coming in as a
Clone
transcendent character kind of makes sense when you know their power sets. Franklin coming in as a transcendence is kind of weird. I mean, he's going through a whole lot of retcons for what he represents inside the MCU, or excuse me, not the MCU, but the Marvel universe. But so it's kind of weird to see him as a transcendent like character, especially knowing what he has been capable of in the past. Reality warping powers, like beyonder level type powers.
Skill number 4, oh sorry, skill number 3. It confused me with the other part. This is called Fantastic Four Signal. Let me make sure I get a good angle so you can see it.
I do like the uniforms that they have here for Reed and Sue. They look good. I think they look cool.
This causes stun, snare, incapacitation.
Especially like how they're inverted basically on each of them.
Grants all damage immunity to self.
That's a cool
Sit
3.
right here in this nice little grouped of enemies, and we're gonna check out skill number 4, which is Tech Weapon Beam. Got some different colors there.
Feels like Peter Quill.
It gives off like disco vibe.
Removes incapacity. One more time on this big group, just for the.
That's dope that they both like come in.
Yeah, so we've seen that skill. So let's move over to Sue Storm.
Cool.
Think about this. Massive is called Elastic Body.
Excuse me, I thought it was Mr. Fantastic. So I really like the fact that we're going to be getting Mr. Fantastic, and that we have a villain uniform for him and a superhero uniform for him. So I believe that gives him a lot more value, basically in the kit, especially depending on how well he will perform still in the villain uniform. But good thing there.
Like wrapping my brain around how flexible bones work. Like when I was imagining like his powers. You know, maybe
how that works, but yeah.
Think about that later, chat, and let me know.
Here we go. The question is.
Meantime, while you figure out in physical damage.
Okay, so let's take a look at this.
Skill number 2 is called Spring Strike.
Reed moves really well.
Dude, that stretchy axe kick at the end. That's
super cool. This causes paralysis. All right, skill number 3, gonna turn on that AI mode real quick. This one is called.
So it's a counterattack skill.
So get rid of that. There we go. All nice jump together.
Look at that counter strike, dude. It's like when you're younger,
I love the effects that they had on this skill. It's essentially like the way his body looks like it's bouncing around on the screen, and you still get the trail effects on that. It looks really cool. It adds a definitely cool layer of movement.
Let's try it without the counter.
Yeah. Still looks kind of cool, but just don't get the same kind of thing.
All I'm seeing when I see the 4th skill there is I'm literally just seeing Luffy. I'm just One Piece is all that came to me on that one.
Penetrate super armor, barrier, shield, all damage immune, invincible, and increase all basic attacks and all damage immunity to self. Let's check out skill number 4.
So good thing there is you see that he is receiving tier 4 upgrade. So
this one is called Human Whip.
I think he has a lot of value as long as his kit pans out, but we'll have to see the update details. But he has great viability for the combat class in here.
It increases basic damage for 1 attack.
I would wash my car every day if I could do that with my arm.
Alrighty, moving over to skill number 5 is called Leader's Charge. This one's pretty wild too. shooting up lasers, and then he like stretches while shooting the laser.
Oh, wow.
This is a really cool kit for him in terms of like the visualization. VFX team knocked it out the park. Let's just hope that whomever's writing those skill notes make this worth it. We get a lot of characters like Warhammer and characters that just have amazing visual effects, and then they just ruined by the kit that's on
them.
them.
I'm gonna say the same, but we can go ahead and check that out just to see it in the new uniform, and I'll go over the stats for anyone who might be interested. It decreases all speed and stuns enemies to self. Percentage of
Yeah, we've seen this skill. Nothing to write home about.
And a chance to penetrate as well with super armor, barrier, shield, and all damage immune, while granting invincible. Removes all debuffs and incapacitation. Increased HP and increases his basic damage while ignoring damage over a certain percentage of his maximum HP for a few seconds. All right, combo time.
Let's go back to
various formulas appear around Mr. Fantastic as he recovers his HP and increases his basic damage while ignoring damage over a certain percentage of his maximum HP for a few seconds.
That's going to be interesting to see inside the patch notes.
Combo time. Let's go.
Are we building Mr. Fantastic into HP? I don't really care about his combo.
Who can, of course, turn invisible.
Sue had a phenomenal kit introduced into the game as is. So it'd be nice to see her, especially as she's getting a tier 4. She's in the blast type female character group, so it could be. We'll have to see where she goes. But she had a wonderful kit already as is.
Her tier 2 passive is called.
These are pretty crazy, but
Let's see.
Okay, that's all good.
Nothing on it too, really.
All right, skill number 2 is called Force Field Fragment. Get it from
Nothing really there.
There we go. Skill number 2.
Oh, okay. Force field fragment. Yeah.
Force Field Fragment, and this applies to enemies, stun, and removes active debuff.
Buff.
Like nothing about her skills really pop for me. I'll have to see these more on my screen. One of the things that I found out about Marvel Future Fight is when I play it on my phone or tablet, it looks so much worse than it does on my PC. Why they haven't added Marvel Future Fight to the Netmarble launcher yet is baffles me too as well. I'm assuming it's on a very old engine and they haven't upgraded it, so they can't put it there.
Defense. Next up, we have Force Field Trap. This is a fun one. I like this one. Yeah. Let's go with skill 5, Force Field Trap. Like the expansion of that. This causes incapacitation and paralysis to enemies, and recovers HP, grants invincible, and increased stats like all basic attacks.
So you essentially are going to have Johnny and Thing who are going to get uniforms. So let's say that's 1,000, just rounding up. And then we've got
you can recognize a couple
Reed and
in this skill.
Sue, who are going to also receive tier 4s and receive uniforms. That's going to be expensive. You're basically choosing between those two.
This tier 4 skill.
Wow, was that Thing and everyone from jumping in? That's awesome. Dude.
Thing and Human Torch.
And then you get Valeria and what you call it this. So 6 characters. Well, 4 characters you're essentially trying to level up in one update. Fleecing those wallets if you have to. I'm going to like here's the thing too is that the fleece is in the works because we know that Wolverine and Deadpool is still coming out, and if you invest in any of the Fantastic Four characters currently, you're probably not going to have the resources to get, you know, Deadpool up to tier 4. You can already tier 4 Wolverine, so.
All right, let's get over to those last trivia questions.
So let's take a look. This is the main thing that I wanted to take a look at was the content after, because I think this is going to be the part of contention for most people.
10 June update. Let's just go ahead and cook out the uniform options real quick. And then we have the new uniform and uniform options here. For Mr. Fantastic, which is from the fall of Fantastic Four, includes Rachel Summers and Dr. Voodoo. Big fan of
Rachel Summers. These are all good uniform options. They're all relevant uniform options, so these are really good.
Includes, of course, the fall of Fantastic Four outfit. We have Cyclops from Marvel Now.
This is why did they throw that Marvel Now in there?
One of my
like, what was the reason for throwing that in there along with Captain Rogers' Poseidon armor?
New uniforms in tier 4.
I don't get those at all.
Okay.
New
now,
update. The new
let's
content.
go.
Let's go.
All right.
So
Appreciate
here
you,
goes.
announcer.
This is the part that I think most people are going to be really pissed
As
off
always.
about.
Yeah, brother. Let's
And we
All right,
don't
let's
know
find out
yet, so I would
what's
say
new in
reserve
this
your
update, shall we?
judgment till
First,
we
there's a new
get more
content
information.
called
But
Multiverse Saga.
so the
that will be
Multiverse Saga,
released
they
with
can
this
call it that,
update.
but it's basically
So,
just
let's go ahead
the
and watch
heroic
introduction
quest
video from
redone.
Multiverse Saga, the original story content for Marvel Future Fight.
So we've seen this already. I played it for you in the beginning.
Face off against Doctor Doom.
Now, hopefully this means that we're going to get Doctor Doom. If we do, it's going to be a real hard decision on T4 and Doctor Doom versus T4
All right,
and
now let's
Deadpool.
give you a brief overview of the content.
God Emperor
Right.
Dune as a
Multiverse
mid-month
Saga
would be
consists
awesome.
of several chapters, and each chapter has several episodes. There will be a main character per chapter. So for chapter 1, it will be Valeria Richards and Reed Richards.
So you can see exactly what I was talking about
You can
here.
explore the story in the perspective of the main character.
This is
per
essentially
chapter. And as
just,
you progress
you know,
through
heroic
episodes, you will
quests
see
upgraded,
story
which is
episodes
nice.
and
You know, we
battle
need new
episodes.
content like that basically to
the story
play.
episodes is pretty self-explanatory.
So this isn't a bad thing.
Yep.
Let's
Sorry.
go. You messed me up
I
too.
know, sorry. We don't want to. Anyway, point is we don't want to spoil anything,
Yeah,
so we're
yeah.
just gonna skip over it, let you enjoy.
But
it
notice
yourself.
here that you see
In the
1
battle
and 2
episodes, you'll fight
hidden
against,
pack
designated
purchase
heroes
required.
in uniforms. So in each battle episode, there are up to 3 heroes in uniforms that are assigned, and you can battle with these specific settings regardless of your current hero growth stats. So that means don't worry about where you are with
that
your
sucks.
characters. The game will provide what is needed to defeat the story and the challenges. So I'm
So
sure
Crystal
navigating through the story
is
will
in
be
here
fun
in the
with
story
different
as
heroes,
well, but we don't see her in
that's
anything
not
else.
all. The Multiverse Saga has 2 special elements. The first being the hidden story. If you purchase the hidden story,
So look at this here. So we've got, it unlocks the plus reward acquisition for the Multiverse Saga. It unlocks the hidden story pack. You get Franklin Richards at 6-star, but not at a tier 2 6-star. You just get him at 6-star. You get 1,000 crystals, and then you remove the chapter wait time on the event as well. So they're selling you the time gate. They're selling you the character. And then they're selling you some of the story for the game that they basically have. So you could almost look at this as DLC type content to the game. Now, the 1,000 crystals brings the price down because it's basically $29.99 at that point because you're getting 1,000 crystals. I don't know that I necessarily like this idea of heaping onto us characters who don't have in-game viability when they're released at this type of price. $39.99, $29.99 is expensive for a character in a Barbie Toon collector, for where this character potentially is going to sit on your shelf and you're not going to use him, because where are you really using this character? Shadowlands, you could use him in Otherworld Battle if he has some viability there. But in terms of your in-game content that you're mostly playing, are you going to choose to use Franklin Richards over many of your other tier 4 universal type characters? I doubt it.
Each episode is revealed, and you can earn various additional rewards, including a 6-star Franklin Richards. And we think discovering the hidden ending, which is different from the original ending, is very interesting. And I think will be a unique charm of the Multiverse Saga that wasn't present in the Marvel Future Fight's existing story content. And we also can't overlook the plus rewards from the hidden story pack. Plus rewards emblem collection has been added as well. One fun aspect of the emblem collection is collecting Marvel Comics superhero.
So as he's talking about this, I'm going to say my piece on this. We don't know what we don't know yet. We just see a collection inventory. The thing I'm mad about is that we're getting more power distribution type effects throughout the game. So what you're basically doing by adding systems like this, regardless of whether it's going to be free or whether it's going to be, you know, paywalled or whether it's going to be completely pay to win, you are diversifying where power comes from for characters. And that helps the developer in a little bit sense of a way, in that when they build things, they're gonna reduce the power element that comes with those characters, because now the actual kit is going to be reduced, because they know they have to take into account that these other power sources exist, these other means of you basically ranking up those characters. So let's take a look at this.
Heroes and supervillains through emblems, especially those who couldn't be released as playable characters because they didn't have special abilities, such as, you know, we have May Parker. Or
so you can see here, this is unlocking this is going to apply the content to timeline battle. So it's going to decrease the basic damage received from human characters by 3% in timeline battle. That could be pretty significant.
As you progress through the multiverse saga, you can obtain emblems or emblem data and grow emblems and gain bonus effects for each content. Let's check out.
So think about that. So now you have to go play Multiverse Saga. You're then going to probably have to purchase the hidden story packs to gain those additional story levels, because you're going to be trying to get these items from the Multiverse Saga. So without doing that, when you try to play other content modes, you're going to be behind the Powerball in terms of like trying to catch up with other players, because they're going to be receiving these benefits, which means they're going to be incrementally better than you.
Spider-Man here. As you can see, bonus effects of mythic emblems.
That's
like
not a big deal. It increases instinct attack by
content.
4%. That's not a whole lot.
Go and find someone like Mr.
All allies get a 5% increase of HP. That's heavy.
Content.
Because 5% increase of HP on Hulk is a lot. Could be a whole lot, especially if there's multiple ways for him to increase his HP.
The bonus effects of emblems will increase upon growth of emblems. And you can level up emblems using
so that means that we will get these things in the shop. So you get what I'm saying in terms of this. Is like it's piecemealing you all the bits of power of a character. And what's going to end up happening is the same thing we see with a lot of these added features. Whereas opposed to like I'm playing Black Desert Online and they're reducing the amount of that's inside of your inventory. Here we have Marvel Future Fight, who hasn't given us a crystal bonus in years in terms of our daily crystal rate increases, haven't given us additional inventory slots or anything like that. They're adding more items to the inventory system. I don't like it.
When the emblem reaches certain levels. Now let's go over the emblem collection tab. Right, as you can see here, got a couple here. There's also the fun of completing a collection. I know myself, I'm kind of a completionist when it comes to regular games. Got to get those platinum trophies. Announcer, I don't know how you are about that.
Yeah, so we can see some of the rewards. The collection rewards are pretty heavy. This is the collection rewards. What leads me to believe that this is not going to be a full-on free-to-play system. There's just no way that I believe that they're giving away, you know, selectors and what looks to be maybe mighty or brilliant chess.
Various amazing rewards like brilliant CTP selector, and a
brilliant CTP
selector.
Brilliant
Another
CTP
thing you
selector.
can do with these stars is to unlock the collection reward slot. You can earn daily rewards from each slot. You can earn tier advancement materials. You can earn tier 2 materials like black antimatter at a higher chance, and tier 4 materials like carbonadium and sulfalatine at a lower chance. If you aim for higher slot levels for more tier 4 materials. The more you collect the number of stars, the more materials and higher chance for those tier 4 materials you get. Well, with that, we hope you enjoy the 2 new pieces of content. So, let us know in the chat what you think.
I think overall, like the update to me is like a meh, just because of placement.
Now,
is it bad? No, but
coupon.
I think it's better for the community to reserve judgment until we get those update details, and that way we can understand better the emblem system, how those are going to be collected. But the Franklin Richards cost of the item, none of these things basically endear the community and player base. I just don't see this as like a positive thing for the game necessarily. If what we're going to get with the emblem system is another purchase. I mean, so we've got that. This is what I mean by it. Like overall, when you look at it, we've got team up collections. We've got the X of Swords, right? We've got Shield Academy. We've got cards. We've got the agent bonuses. There's so many places where they've basically pushed out the power from being in the kit of the character to being in places where they could monetize it. X of Swords was monetized because you could go buy the items basically in order to do that now. Cards were always monetized, so you could purchase additional cards and stuff like that. The team up collection, you know, we've just got this added, and now we still are going to go back to this one and be like, hey, you know what? Got to get some more money by basically purchasing on these. And so a lot of these systems just kind of start to feel like you're beating the player base over the head, because it's like, why? Like the multiverse saga could be a very interesting thing, especially if you know the team is developed in their own insulated stories and things like that, or just bringing stories from the comic books to the game and introducing them to us in type of these sagas. And essentially you were to look at these sagas as like DLC like level content. I think that would have probably been a better path for Marvel Future Fight, you know, going forward. Is like, hey, you know what, we've got 300 something characters in the game right now. We've never really fleshed out some of these characters. Let's do a story content, you know, character where we're going to sell the uniform to you. We're going to sell, you know, the power upgrade kit or whatever the hell it is with some additional things. And you basically get the ability to go through stories for each of these characters. And instead of it being intrinsic to a all account wide bonus buff, you can have the buff specifically to those characters with inside of their like own like slot or tab or whatever that basically grants you rewards. I don't know necessarily how to feel about some of the update here. I mean, like I said, you know, Franklin and Valeria just don't seem like they're going to stand out really well to me, just because they're competing heavily. Reed, I don't believe, you know, I think that he's going to have some value at tier 4. I wish that he was going to be available for the tier 4 advancement here, but you can see the characters that are on the list, right? Like, man, I just don't know. Like, it's weird to think about Reed basically, you know, I think he probably to me has the most potential in the update to basically make the most impact. Like I said, because he basically has uniform, but the question, the good and villain uniform, the question is whether or not we're going to get a Dr. Doom uniform in the mid-month and get God Emperor Doom or something like that. It's been a while since we've seen anything for Doom. I mean, 3099, that was like 3-4 years ago or something like that. So it'd be interesting to see that. But that's my general reaction to last night's live stream. I'm still working on trying to see about getting my internet. Hopefully Starlink fixes something so that I can do live content, but at the moment it's just not happening. So I have to bring you guys pre-recorded content with recorded reactions, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel grow, and I look forward to you guys when we get these update details, and I'll pass those on to you guys. Until next time, peace.